All right, Haxster, so with this chandelier, we've got a bunch of these little crystals that are going to be going all the way around the light enclosure. They're held on by two of these. You're going to put them on where like that there, and then on the top one, you're going to put it in, and then you're going to be getting it to look like that. So I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me do all of them, so I'm going to go ahead and get you over to a time lapse, and then I'll catch up with you after. All right, Haxsters, got these all in. I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to have that temptation to rush to get these done as quickly as you can, but take your time. Make sure you're getting all your crystals lined up. Otherwise, it's going to be up there, and it's going to be a constant nag at you because you see that one that's just not quite right. So we got these ready. It's time to move on to the next step. All right, guys, so we are on to that next step. You got a couple different mounting options, all depending on how high your ceiling is, how low you want this to hang. I'm going with the shortest option, which is going to be the 3 coming up and hooking in to the main plate, and then wiring that straight up to the ceiling. You have options to add a plate to the top of this and then go up into another plate in the ceiling. With that length, you have more chain that you can add even more length to it. And then, like I said, you have another ceiling plate that you can then have up at your ceiling. It's all going to depend on your personal preference, and how high your ceilings are going to also dictate how low you can make it. So let's go ahead and get on and get the power off in the room we're going to be working on, get that old chandelier down, and start working on getting this one up. All right, Haxsters, this is going to be one of the more easy DIY installations that you can do, is changing out a light fixture. We're gonna, in this case, not need too much. We're gonna need a screwdriver, and we're gonna need a line tester to make sure our power is off before we start messing with any of the electric. Everything else comes with your kit. So let's go ahead and jump up here and start removing this old. Make sure we grab that line tester so we can have it, make sure we're good. Most of them are gonna be like this, where you just got this single hand tighten in there. Now that we got it open, turn it on. As long as we stay green, no red, we don't want any red, you're good. All of our lines are dead currently. Perfect. So, next step we need to do is start bringing our wire out so we can disconnect to be able to safely bring down this old chandelier. And real simple, just on the wire nuts, just unscrew them. And whoever installed this one, and I get to actually say it wasn't me, did not do a great job keeping these wires together. The hot line just literally fell apart. But it's with the connectors that came with the chandelier, it's going to make it so much nicer. Alright, so now we got that off. All we need to do is twist this whole thing out. Let's go see if we can get to those screws in there and see how well we can do that. Yeah, we should have plenty of room to do that. Loosen the screw. Don't take it all the way out because that's all that's holding this from falling and crashing to the floor. I don't know about you, but I don't want to do that. Let's get them loosened up enough so it won't be too much for it to take the rest off. All right, now we got them right to the ends. Go ahead and grab it, take the weight off of it. Unscrew. Got that first one done. Drop it into the tray. And then get that last one. All right, there we go. Got it out of there. All right. First thing we need to do is replace the bracket that was up there for the old light with our new bracket. That's this one here. We're going to come back up. We're going to reuse the screws that everything came with. Make sure we've got plenty of room. Let's see. We are going to actually have to do a little bit of modifying. So let me get right back to you. All right, Haxsters, what I was talking about with modification is the mount for the actual part that goes up is actually in the exact same spot as the holes that are up here. So I just need to come through the top with the screw on both of these and then redo my nut and everything to lock it in place for hooking up to the mount. So it's a slight modification, but it is one that you might have to do depending on your box. There's a good chance, because a lot of boxes are fairly similar in size, so it will, there's a good chance that's what you're going to be dealing with. But we just took it out from where it was, and then feed our nut back onto there. And our other one, you just need to make sure we're also putting our ground back up. Double check everything's still lining up. Out the way for a second. We're all good before we move on to that next step. Because we'd hate to be up here screwing stuff in and then have to take everything back out. I'm not going to be long enough now. All right, Haxsters. So I needed to use a second set of hardware that they had in the box to mount the plate up into different mounting bracket holes than the original. So I just needed to get those up into place and then put their bracket up in here so it's all ready to go. So next step is connecting the connector they sent to us. It's set up so that you can bring in all the lines into one spot and then your hot and your neutral from your main line. So we're going to put our hot in, locked in place, put our neutral in, locked into place, get it down there a little bit more, there we go, that's all locked in. We're going to connect our ground, same way, just push it in, and there's a little latch. Once you push it in, just flip that latch down, and it's locked. So we can go ahead and push our ground and all that back up and in and out of our way because we're not going to need it anymore. All right, so now we need to go ahead and start getting our chandelier ready to come up. So we're going to feed our lines in, hook it on, the next one up, hook it on, make sure it's hooked down below, and then our last one. Sure it stays hooked down here as well. And then up and in, done. Come up, we're going to make sure we have our lines ready to go. And this is where you really do not want to attach all the glass yet because that's going to make it a whole lot heavier while you're trying to get everything in and up on this thing. So again, you got brown is your hot, blue is your neutral, and it's their clip actually has it the same way. It has the red is for hot, blue for neutral. We're just gonna feed in, clip. If you are needing to do it, just make sure you are flipping it all the way up. It is basically a 90-degree from where it is normally down to be open and ready for the new line to come in. So we just keep feeding these in around. Next, and then our last one. All right. Now we're going to feed everything up and into the box so we can then mount our plate screws. Tuck everything in. There you go. It's always the hardest part, finding the screw when you're trying to get up. All right. Drop that one. Luckily we got the other one up so we don't have to worry about it falling. This last one in. Snug them nice and tight so you know you're not going anywhere. That's all up. Now to put our accent glass up, you need to take off these little screw off sections. And then one at a time, bring them up. Go right over the top of it. And I'll hold that in place because it is a lot of weight with only one. It's going to want to be off-centered. Put that screws back on to lock them in. If you hear the grunting, that is our bulldog down here wanting to be part of the show. Next one. Tighten into place. And the last one. All right, so it's all up there. They supply you with 6 LED lights. So let's go ahead and get those in, get the power turned back on, and see how she looks. All right, Haxsters, let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like. All powered up, new lights in. Here we go. Those crystals really give it a nice look all around. I said it comes with the bulbs, but if you, depending on the color light you like, you can always switch them out to what is best suits you. So, thanks for joining me. Make sure you like and subscribe, and check out the affiliate link below if you're wanting one of these for yourself. Have a great one, guys.